can!
It's over!
He's done it again! Unbelievable!
Oh, straight into the roof of the net.
Nice one.
Straight down the middle. So a good performance.
Hi, you're watching Firstpost. I'm Rupha Ramani. Let's get started. Mohsin Naqvi's threats continue, but will BCCI blink? That's coming up. Doesn't look like it. All the inside track on this developing story, and who is the man who seems to be holding cricket for ransom? We bring you the story of the rise of Pakistan's Home Minister and PCB boss Mohsin Naqvi. Nepal may be in the middle of crisis, but one bunch seems to be the silver lining in all the gloom. Their cricket team, who just won a T20 series against a full member nation West Indies, stunning the cricketing world. But can they continue the golden run? And not just Lewis Hamilton, but F1 and fans all over the world mourn the loss of Hamilton's pet, Rosco. What did he mean to F1 itself, and how key was his contribution to Hamilton's success story? But first up, Sports 360. Starting with cricket, Australia's Glenn Maxwell has been ruled out of the series against New Zealand. The all-rounder suffered a freak injury in the nets. Maxwell was bowling to Mitch Owen, whose powerful hit struck Maxwell on his forearm. Josh Phillip will replace Maxwell. The series starts tomorrow. On to football. Sports' governing body FIFA has sanctioned Salvador football for their fans' racist and discriminatory behaviour. The incident pertains to their 2026 World Cup qualifier against Suriname. Salvador has been asked to pay around $63,000 and will have to play their next official home match with 15% less fan capacity. India's football club Mohun Bagan once again faced heartbreak. The club has been removed from the AFC Champions League 2 after they refused to travel to Iran for their match against Sepahan SC. The club had asked AFC for a change in the venue over security concerns. The team have moved CAS to seek a fair resolution. And we'll sum it up with updates from World Parathletics. It was a historic day in javelin for India. Rinku Hooda clinched gold and broke a decade-old championship record. Hooda launched a throw of over 66 meters in his second attempt. Two-time Paralympic medalist Sundar Gujjar took second place with a throw of 64.76 meters. The Asia Cup drama simply refuses to die down. India may have been crowned champions, fair and square, an unbeaten streak till the end. But Pakistan, they're still trying to make the story all about themselves. And right at the center of this storm is a man who's supposed to play neutral but has been anything but. Pakistan's Interior Minister, Pakistan's Cricket Board Chief and Asian Cricket Council Chairman. Yes, all three rolled into one is Mohsin Naqvi, the man who's holding the sport to ransom at this point, who has insulted a cricket team by refusing to hand over the trophy and has targeted India's Prime Minister, Narendra Modi. What are his fresh threats, and will India blink? Well, definitely not, is what we're hearing. We bring you the drama unfolding behind closed doors and the story behind the rise of Mohsin Naqvi. Now, after being humbled once again by India, many thought Pakistan would move on, accept defeat and perhaps learn. But that's clearly not in their DNA. Instead, the country is glorifying a loss and playing the victim card. Nothing new here, but Naqvi, he's doubling down. Now he's attacking PM Modi on X in the name of keeping politics out of sport. But here's the irony. Naqvi himself has been the biggest offender when it comes to politicizing cricket. Ever since it was confirmed that India and Pakistan would meet in the final, his social media had turned into a full-blown propaganda machine. Every single post screamed neutrality in Pakistani style. He mocked India's Operation Sindoor in his speeches. He photoshopped Pakistan's cricketers as fighter pilots. But what happened? Pakistan came close, sure, but still lost. Otherwise, Naqvi would have gone on record claiming victory there too. But the drama doesn't stop at tweets. Naqvi has escalated the trophy fiasco. India, the rightful winners, were denied the Asia Cup simply because of Naqvi's ego. And now sources say he's ready to hand over the trophy, but with conditions attached. He wants a function. He wants to personally hand it over no matter what. The PCB chief is forgetting something basic here. India didn't refuse the trophy because he's Pakistani. They refused because he wears 3 hats. And one of those is that of Interior Minister of a hostile government. How can he pretend to be neutral as ACC chair when his very position is political? And while Naqvi is giving out empty threats, India is likely to take a firm stance. India is threatening to pull out of the ACC if Naqvi doesn't mend his ways. That's what I'm hearing. This is the real issue. Mohsin Naqvi cannot separate his roles. As ACC chair, he acts like PCB chief. As PCB chief, he acts like the interior minister, and on X, he acts like a Twitter troll. If he really wants politics out of sport, maybe he should start with himself. Take his entire career which has been defined by conflicts of interest. On paper, he looks like a high achiever. At just 45, he already holds 3 of the most influential posts in Pakistan and Asia. But peel back the layers and his rise is anything but clean. He studied journalism in the US, worked at CNN, became their South Asia regional head, and then came the allegations of bribery, of using CNN connections to help fix cases in Pakistan's Supreme Court. A journalist turned power broker accused of corruption. Hardly the credentials for someone preaching about purity in sport. So what do we really have here? A man who politicizes sport when it suits Pakistan, but cries foul when India calls it out. A man who clings to 3 positions of power, yet fails to uplift Pakistan's cricket or the system. And a man who, instead of accepting defeat gracefully, turns every loss into a circus. At the end of the day, this isn't about cricket anymore. It's about credibility. If Mohsin Naqvi really wants to be seen as a global administrator, he should learn what neutrality actually means. Because right now, all he's doing is embarrassing Pakistan, embarrassing Asian cricket, and dragging the sport deeper into politics. But here's the truth. India won the Asia Cup, and no amount of trolling, no withheld trophies, no conditions will ever change that. Unlike Pakistan, India doesn't take a U-turn on their stance. Clearly, Naqvi is headed for a battle, and one that is likely to embarrass him and Pakistan even more. This was what Nepal looked like just some weeks ago. Call it what you will, an uprising, a revolution, or just utter mayhem. People in Nepal got together to protest, vandalize, torch, and destroy residences of political leaders and brought down a whole government in just over 2 days. The quiet, serene Himalayan country was rocked by unprecedented violence. Violence that can never quite bring joy, as that alone can't denote victory, which is what their cricket has done. In the middle of chaos and the country's unrest, Nepal's cricket team has done the unthinkable. They've won a T20 series against West Indies, taking 2 games off a test-playing full member nation to script a silver lining in what has been a torrid month. Is this the turning point for a country that has been on the edge now? Nepal is a very small country. When you look at achievements, especially in the realm of sports, adventure, you will always remember the mountaineers who scaled the Everest, Tenzing Norgay, Kamirita Sherpa, Pasang Lu Sherpa. When you speak of sporting heroes, though, the scope narrows sizably. Just 7 athletes representing them at the last Olympics, and nothing much to write home about. And then you look at their cricket team, and that's when the light glimmers. There is hope. This is what they went on to do yesterday in the second T20 International against West Indies. Batting first, piled on 173 and then dismissed them with 90 runs still to get.
Leg spin from both ends and given the treatment immediately over.
Here's another boundary, perhaps the first 6 of the innings.
Pulled really well this time, the sound of the bat fence.
And that makes it even tougher.
Sorted.
And it continues to go downhill for the...
Kushal Bertel, has he created an opportunity? Not another catch in the deep. Of course it is. Day hero from 7 years ago seals a series win for Nepal.
The win was clinical, in fact, much like the first game. The first win may have got you to turn your heads. It impressed everyone, particularly Bishop, who was profusive in his praise and acknowledgement.
I don't usually do this, but I know the country needs this. I know the team needs this, Rohit. Very, very well done for a young man. You're an extremely good leader. All the very best in the matches to come.
Thank you so much for your kind words, sir.
Thank you very much for being with us here at the presentation. Just a reminder, historic victory for Nepal, first over a full member nation series victory in T20I.
As Bishop nicely puts it, the best part about this outfit has been the leadership. Rohit Paudel looks like one who has a solid head on his young shoulders, and they've had a change in support staff. Nevertheless, a new coach coming in this year, but the passion has been unwavering, and it was not the same who stepped up to deliver every single time. If the skipper led from the front in the first match, his teammates did the job in the second T20, helping the side register a victory of the biggest margin by any associate nation over a test-playing country.
A lot of eyes are on Nepal. We want to continue it and want to play many more series against test-playing nations. We will carry the momentum to the qualifiers and we want to qualify for the 2026 World Cup.
A lot of eyes on Nepal, that's correct. Everyone is watching how this team will fight, considering all of what's happening in the backdrop back home. They've held their ground like they did at the T20 World Cup last year when they got everyone buzzing with their lion-hearted efforts. The talent, the fans, the fervour, it all captured our hearts. And this time, when they beat West Indies, we have to know that this was no B-string side. It has Kyle Mayers, Jason Holder, Akhil Hussain, Obaid McCoy, players who have been around the international circuit for a while. A team that was supposed to flick Nepal aside. Because here is a team that's living through a crisis, that has struggled with lack of infrastructure and proper equipments. Something their more accomplished neighbour India has helped them with in the recent past. India has also helped them train and lend support wherever and whenever possible. Our country saw the potential here. Look at this side. They are gritty, ready to fight for the long haul. The only question is, will this mark an upward trajectory of their path? Is this the turning point for them to stay on course and only grow stronger? Strength doesn't lie only in these wins. It lies in consistency of showing improvement regularly and wanting to belong at the sport's biggest platform. They proved this was no fluke, that all we saw last year in the World Cup holds promise because the world is watching, and that's when they have to punch up and hard. Formula One isn't just about roaring engines, blistering lap times and split-second strategies. Sometimes, amid the chaos of the paddock, it's about emotions, family and companionship. The F1 world was left stunned, heartbroken even, because Lewis Hamilton's best friend, his most loyal companion, his beloved bulldog Rosco, is no more. He wasn't just a dog, he was Hamilton's teammate in life, a therapy partner, a social media star, and believe it or not, an unsung force behind Hamilton's world championship dominance. Our next report looks at why Roscoe's passing leaves such a big void, not just in Formula One, but in all of sport.
A sport driven by speed was halted by grief this week. The Formula One paddock is quieter today because one of its most familiar, most loved faces is gone. Lewis Hamilton's beloved bulldog Rosco has passed away after a prolonged health battle. When Hamilton arrives in Singapore this weekend, one thing will be missing from his entourage. No Roscoe strutting proudly through the paddock, no wagging tail during the downtime, and no calming presence for the 7-time world champion. Roscoe's death came after a fight with pneumonia. The dog slipped into a coma and never woke up. A tragedy that has left Hamilton, arguably the greatest Formula One driver of all time, completely shattered. Hamilton's post on social media read like a eulogy for a family member, because Roscoe was exactly that. Okay, good. He wasn't just a pet. Since Hamilton adopted him in 2013, Roscoe became a regular fixture in F1. At races, at award ceremonies, at photo shoots, wherever Hamilton went, Roscoe followed. He wasn't just popular, he was a celebrity. With his own Instagram account, Roscoe Love Coco, Roscoe had more than 1.4 million followers. Fans adored his quirky posts, his playful bio, and his adventures. For many, he was the unofficial mascot of Formula One itself. And after Coco, Hamilton's other dog, passed away in 2020, Roscoe became Hamilton's entire emotional anchor. But here's the part that goes beyond social media. Roscoe wasn't just Hamilton's comfort. He was a bridge, bringing Hamilton and Charles Leclerc closer together when Hamilton moved to Ferrari. A friendship built on the simple fact that Leclerc's dog also loved Roscoe. The dogs united two rivals who became teammates, turning tension into trust. And let's not forget, pets have long shaped sporting success stories. America's gymnastics team had Beacon, a therapy golden retriever who travelled with them. The result? Olympic gold medals. England's Lionesses had their team dog during the Euros, and they won the championship. These are not coincidences. Pets provide a sense of calm stability and mental balance in the storm that is elite sport. For Hamilton, Roscoe was that balance. He was there when Hamilton clinched 6 more world titles. He was there during record-breaking seasons. And he was there on bad days too. Disqualifications, controversies, lonely nights. Always a constant presence when the world felt too heavy. Think about it. Hamilton may have been the driver, but Roscoe was the silent passenger on that journey, a 6-time world champion in spirit. Roscoe's loss isn't just Hamilton's, it's Formula One's too. Because this wasn't just a bulldog walking through the paddocks. This was a symbol of how sport, no matter how competitive, still has room for love, for family, and for friendship. Roscoe gave Hamilton calmness in chaos, companionship in solitude, and unconditional loyalty that even 7 world championships could not match. And that's why when the engines roar this weekend, the loudest silence will be owing to the absence of Roscoe. He was more than Hamilton's pet. He was a champion in his own right.
Time for last serve. Kenya played host to a one-of-a-kind event at Camel Derby, and this wasn't just a local affair. Participants came from far and wide to take part in the race. All of it unfolded in the middle of a vibrant atmosphere with cheerful onlookers, all adding on to the festive spirit. Take a look. That wraps it up here on First Sports. I'll see you again tomorrow. Till then, do take care. Bye-bye.